says mayor instead of Meyer.
Where?
Uh,
In the motions?
yes.
Yep, I see it. Okay.
Do I hear a
With the
motion?
corrections, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and second to accept the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Communications.
None. I think President Tark says communication she wanted to talk about though.
Pardon? Oh, sure. Why
Oh, sure.
not?
It's a joke. Today we received a postcard in the mail offering to buy the library as a whole. So we're contemplating selling the library apparently.
Running the numbers.
We're running the numbers.
Committee reports. Building Board, Trustee Holman.
Building board met tonight at 5:30. We approved occupancies for Bar District, 12519 West Hampton Avenue, exercise classes, fitness. Another one for Lush Beauty Bar at 12606 West Hampton, number 4. And then we approved the fence for Butler Square, 12809 West Hampton Avenue. End of report.
Thank you. Finance Committee, Trustee Sardina.
Finance Committee met at 5:50 this evening, and we reviewed and approved current invoices of $847,903.17. We reviewed and approved November and December statements of revenues and expenditures. Going to pass it on full board. End of committee, end of report.
Thank you. Library Board, Trustee Bates.
The library board met on December 13th, seems so long ago now. Special note that we've got a board member, Robert Kraus, that is now on the Bridges Library Board. So hopefully we can have a little pull with Bridges on some of this stuff. That's a big step. Discuss sales tax issues with selling printer copies. We did our quarterly technology review. We approved the 2023 holiday schedule. We approved 3 policies, the records request, emergency and safety policy, and the privacy policy. And on January 14th, we had the library board, several residents, and a few village board members meet to discuss Friends of Library fundraising ideas. End of report.
Can I just talk either with you, Trustee Bates or Charlene, after the meeting about the sales tax issue? Because I know I talked to Genevieve about it a while ago. I just want to make sure we're still on the same page. I think we are, yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Okay, thank you. Community events, Trustee Meyer.
Community events met December 14th. We reviewed our breakfast with Santa where we took in $791.50. Of that $791.50, $45 was a donation. We served 30 seniors, 55 children that day. It was well attended. The board had a great representation, a lot of volunteers. It was a great event. We talked about bingo. Bingo starts up this Saturday, the 21st. And in that meeting, we also met with the library board, Friends of the Library, and members of the community to talk about ways to partner with the library to help their goals for this year. End of report.
Thank you. Public Safety, Trustee Kasdorf.
Public Safety met tonight. We discussed the fourth quarter summary. Police are doing their training. We hired the 8th officer who is going to be introduced next. And then they are working on the 9th officer. And then for the fire department, they're doing their training as well. Everything's up and running. And then Bob Riggy retired after 32 years of service. End of report.
Thank you. And adding one more is the Community Foundation. Go ahead.
Community Foundation met last week. They received a donation from Davians Catering. And then they have already started the golf outing, and that will be in September of 23. End of report.
Thank you. Report of the administrator.
Just a couple things. We are in the process of getting ready to mail absentees for the February primary. We will be having a February primary, not for local races, but for state Supreme Court and for state senator because Alberta Darling retired, so there's a primary for her race. So in 2 weeks, we'll be mailing absentee ballots for that. And then Pam has already started on the preparations for the April election, which will include the village board and local officials. And then I know we've discussed briefly at budget meetings about we are due for a dump truck in 2024, about placing the order in 2023 to ensure that we get it in 2024. Last week I had Jem reach out to Peterbilt to see what we need to do to get that done. And the earliest at this point in time we could get a dump truck is 25 or 26. If we put ourselves on the list today. So Jim and I had a brief conversation this morning about whether we can make it stretch our current year, which would be 23-year cycle for that dump truck. He thinks we can with a couple modifications. There's one other option he's exploring, going to an international. It's the only other brand that will fit in the garage, but I'm sure we're gonna encounter some of the same delays. So I am going to go ahead and pay the deposit to put ourselves on the work list, with hopes that we get it in 25 or 26. End of report.
I got a question.
Yeah.
And I actually meant to bring this up during the budget stuff too, though. Whatever happened to our electronic sign that was gonna go in?
So that really fell apart because right as we were getting ready to do that was the pandemic.
Right, I know all that, but is
yeah.
there any?
It's still earmarked in the fund balance within the capital fund. We
Well,
just
I
need
think
to
we got that
resurrect the
all.
project, us to solicit new quotes for it. I mean, it's twofold. One, the quotes that we got for it back in 2019, early 2020 were astronomically more expensive than I think we all thought it was going to be. Like $20,000 or $30,000 more than we thought that sign was going to be. And then so we kind of poo-pooed that during the pandemic as to we're not going to make any expenditures that at this point are unnecessary. We haven't really taken a look at it since. I'm happy to solicit quotes and bring them back to you. We have money in the capital fund balance if we wish to do that. That's a project I can work on in the next couple weeks or so and bring those back to you.
Do we need any kind of
No,
thing from here?
I mean, you'll have to approve it if that's what you all want to do.
Eventually.
Yeah.
For my part, I would like to move forward with it.
Okay. I'll be happy to get some quotes for you or get updated
Thank you.
quotes.
How much will the deposit on the dump truck be?
$1,000.
Would we consider getting like a 5-year-old one? Do those even come up, like new used?
Not at this point in time, no. If we were to break down and completely take a truck out of rotation, I asked Jim that this morning and it would be, yeah, try to buy one. But at this point in time, anything that is on for sale is 20 to 30 years old. At least what I would call municipal grade, which is the chassis and the dump, because the chassis and the box come separately. So that would fit in our garage and would be able to haul the salt in the manner that we would wish. They're very limited options and nobody, as far as the municipal world, is getting rid of them after 5 years.
And then it might not be what we need to suit our needs.
Correct. It may not fit our plow. It may not fit the garage. It may not, there's so many different options. We, meaning Jim and I, would really like to stay with the Peterbilt because that's what we have. And the guys can interchange seamlessly from truck to truck to truck. But if the international, we can get it 3 years earlier, that's obviously an option we'll have to consider. The other thing to consider too is by putting ourselves on the work list, that does not lock in the price. So whatever the price is in 25 or 26 is what it's going to be.
Okay. I will now turn the meeting over to the police chief, Mr. Wentland, Chief Wentland.
Yep.
All right, Drew, why don't you come on up here? Or let's go over this corner. My honor to be able to introduce to you Officer Adams. Drew, he likes to go by. Come on over here so you don't have your back to anybody. Don't like that in law enforcement. So we're very happy and lucky to get Drew here with us. He grew up in the Madison area, went to Verona High School. From there, started to go into the fire service kind of route. Became an EMT, did some fire classes, also became a phlebotomist, which is a person who draws blood at the hospitals and stuff like that. And then took a detour down to Nebraska. And from there, kind of went into law enforcement. Got his certification down in law enforcement, got hired by the Platte County Sheriff's Department down there, which is on the kind of the eastern side of Nebraska, kind of right in the middle of the state, just to the west of Omaha. Was very successful. He was there for about a year and a half. Got involved, very highly respected in the agency, to the point where, with such little experience on the department, was invited to teach at their training academy for technical casualty care. So in other words, if an officer is injured, to be able to apply tourniquets and combat gauze and dressings and stuff like that. And then decided to come home, come back to this area, and wanted to get back to Wisconsin. The winters were just too much of a draw to him that he needed to come back up here. So with that, he put his application in, and we were able to successfully get him hired here earlier this month. So we're extremely glad and proud to have him here. I think he's going to have a very long career with us, and is going to be able to take us again to that next level. That's always what we've been gearing for, and I think he's a big part of that and part of our team as to the direction that we're heading. So we're really excited to see his career continue on. So with that, we will swear him in. Let's just come on over here now. I gotta try and figure out how to do this. Go ahead and raise your right hand. I, Andrew J. Adams, having been appointed to the office of a patrol officer, do solemnly swear that I will support and comply with the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution and laws of the state of Wisconsin, and the charter, laws, and ordinances of the Village of Butler, the rules and regulations of the Butler Police Department, the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of my office as a police officer to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations, sir. Now, if you would like, you may address the crowd, but it's not required. But no, we're again very, very thankful that we were able to get him on board, and looking forward to some great things. So he'll be on training for the next 3 months or so, primarily on second and third shift. So while you guys are fast in bed and tucked in by the fireplace, he'll be out patrolling and learning the village and everything that we have to have to offer. All right. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion has been made and second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion
6:14.
adjourned. Thank you.